Welcome back to Tux Traveler. Well, today I want to talk a little bit about maybe is this van build or van life or something else. But something to keep in mind that we need to be healthy individuals, and that means that we need to get some exercise in on a regular basis. Most of us van lifers may not have a problem with walking or hiking and getting things like that done. Maybe we do weightlifting. The cat's like, what did I just jump into? What do you think, buddy? Huh? What do you think? Obviously, you're not going to have your full-fledged gym here. I mean, I have tons of free weights and stuff like that, but they're all in storage because, where do you put it? You don't need the extra weight. Where do you put your weight bench and things like that? So what do I do for exercise? Well, first and foremost, some friends of mine who is funny, my friend has 2 kids and they both became gym teachers. And so they said, hey, 4 basic exercises. If you do these 4 things, you'll work out each muscle group. Push-ups, squats, sit-ups, and pull-ups. I have not figured out a way to get the pull-ups in necessarily, but you can do, there's a few different things. Push-ups, nice and easy. Whether if I'm in a nice space where I'm outside and I can go outside, you can do push-ups, sit-ups, anything outside, of course, those basic things. And if I'm in like a city environment or whatever else, I can actually do all of those basic things inside the van as well. I have enough space in my main walkway here where I can do push-ups, I can do sit-ups, and then squats, I use this gap here by the door, which is the only spot I could really do that. But then what do you do for kind of like your bicep type things, which is what your pull-ups would be doing? But you can, of course, do curls. So one of the things that I have is this right here, which some people may have noticed. I've never really commented on it. Well, it's a little bag, and it's held up here with just a couple bungees. And inside of it, the first thing that will fall out if I do that with one hand instead of 2 like I usually do, this is a little exercise bag, or like an exercise blanket. Basically, it's basically like a mini tarp that I can put outside if I want to do stretches, workout, whatever else outside, and not sit on the ground. So this guy gets used when I'm out in a place I'm doing exercise outside. Now inside of this guy here, what I have first thing that we have is we have grippers. Excellent for forearms. So I run my grippers, and I make sure I get these in each one of my basic workout exercises. And then we have flex bands. Flex bands are excellent for a variety of different exercises. Now what I did is I bought a couple sets of them because I have my full-fledged ones where you can really, you can set these guys down, stand up, and do your standard stuff. But I couldn't find, allegedly they exist, I don't know where or how, but I just bought some of the cheaper flex bands from Walmart and I cut them in half, and then I just resealed the edges. And so now I have some nice flex bands that are a little shorter. I can do basically butterflies. I can do your push-ups effectively. You can set them down here, sit on the bottom, and you can do curls with them. That's a bad angle. Let me get my angle right. There it is. I have a cat over here as well. So you can do your curls with them as well. You can do a variety of different exercises, all with making sure that you have a good set of flex bands. And you'll notice I have a total of 6 bands, 3 short ones, 3 long ones. I have 4 of the handles. All fits nicely in this one little bag, which just kind of tucks completely out of the way. That's the advantage if you are in van life and you want to make sure you're getting some good exercise. Invest in a good pair of flex bands, which are usually cheap. I think I paid under, I know I paid under 20 for both sets. I can't remember exactly how much they were, maybe like 13 each or something like that. And then what you're going to do, of course, just however your basic exercise regimen is, if you're a person that watches a lot of videos, whatever, keep them kind of in your way, and then, you know, just kind of do this kind of stuff as you're just doing your videos or waiting for things to happen or things like that. You'll actually get quite an amazing workout just with these, because these flex bands, they're actually really good, just about as good as actually doing resistance training with weights. You just don't necessarily know, you know, how much you bench, man. I benched 702. I don't know how much I might bench, but what I can tell is the weeks that I'm routinely getting my exercise in a few times a week, these are going to be times that I am feeling a lot better. I can feel the muscle mass building. Like right now, I've been dedicatedly getting in a good 3 anaerobic exercises in every week, and I can tell I'm losing a lot more weight than, you know, the times when, you know, you're just sitting in the van and eating a bunch of cookies and not doing much else. So overall, you want to make sure you have a good solid exercise regimen, whatever that looks like. The best equipment you're going to get is flex bands. They're easy, they're cheap. You can use them in the van, you can use them outside the van, and I like the flex grippers as well. They're really good for forearms. Get yourself a little blanket. I think I got this at Walmart for 10 bucks, maybe 15 bucks. This guy here, I found these bags at like a flea market thing in Pensacola, Florida. It cost me a whopping 25 cents. I have 2 of them. But they're actually pretty nice. They're not like the most sturdy or stable. I wouldn't use them for high movement type things, but it's nice where they sit up here. I have them clipped up, and then I just have a couple bungees just kind of keep them out of the way so they never move or things like that. So what do you do with your exercise routine? Well, get those 4 exercises in some way, shape, or form. In my case, I don't have the pull-ups down, but what I do have that I do is, I think I used the other ones for it actually, but this type of approach here gets some of the shoulder muscles, and the other ones that get into the exercises are the curls. So you go ahead and do your shoulder muscles like this, which is really nice for there. And then with the long bands, this is your best types of curls to do. So I get my 4 basic exercise groups in with that, plus a few additional ones. And then the other thing that I make sure I do is I make sure I try and get about 1,000 steps in a day. Except for Sunday is my free day. I generally take off Sunday. I don't look at it. Now, I am not a fan of any of the devices that can connect to clouds and store health data on somebody else's servers. I do not want to give Google or Samsung or any of those companies any of my health data. Apple, no. And most of those devices are. Samsung, for example, just had a big data breach. We still do not know the extent of the data information that people stole. Fitbit, of course, was purchased by Google. So now Google has all that health information. And guess what? Google works with health insurance companies, and they're developing a health insurance company themselves. I do not want Google knowing how many steps I'm taking. So I would never use a Fitbit. I would not use a Samsung device. I'm not a huge fan of the Garmin's either. But this is one of the few Garmin's that does not have to be connected to any devices in order to turn it on and work. This is the Forerunner series. Last I knew, that could change, so do your research, but the Forerunner series, last I knew, you can take it out of the box, put it on, turn it on, and never connect it to a device. This will read my heart rate. It will read my steps per day. It gives me a basic view on activity, gives me an activity logger per week, and it will log, I think, 8 days of aerobic activity type things. So make sure you're doing something where you do not have to tie your health data to somebody else's cloud company, because, you know, that type of data really can be used against you. You don't want to make sure you're not using devices like that. But all that being said, you can get a good solid exercise in your van life. It just takes a little bit of forethought, a little bit of planning, and like anybody's exercise routine, just enough discipline to actually do it. So with that being said, guys, hopefully this has been helpful for you. We'll wrap this video up here. We'll be back to some of the Western Loop travel here soon. With that being said, thanks for watching, and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you a little bit further down the road.